see you.
Too.
My friend who's a guitarist is coming out in May. I want you to meet him.
Okay.
Same as Rick Hirsch. He's played with a lot of the big bands.
Oh,
But I think you'd enjoy talking to him. He has his own sound studio in Mobile.
Alabama, huh?
Yeah, we've been best friends since we're 18 years old.
Wow.
So,
Very cool.
but he really wants to get out to Napa. He hasn't been here in a really long time. And he wants to go to, I always say it wrong, Nicasio? There's a guy who owns a restaurant there who's a really famous songwriter.
Where is it? I don't know
It's
where
out in Marin. It's way out in the booty somewhere.
Yeah.
I looked it up. I think it's Nicasio, Nicasio, and he owns this restaurant there. But Ricky said he's written a lot of music. The guy.
Neat. See your Be Kind button?
Huh?
Your Be Kind button. So, my Be Kind song's being mixed right now in Nashville.
Oh, really? I love it.
Sending all my stuff to this guy in Nashville. It's great.
And that's, you know what? I had a long talk with Ricky the other night. I said, because he does mixing, that's what he does.
Thank you.
And I said, explain mixing. And then he explained the whole thing to me. So now I understand what mixing is.
It'd be like having all the ingredients to a cake, just sitting
Like
on your counter.
Yes.
Mixing is
Putting it all together and making it
in the
sound
right
good.
balances.
Right. He
So-
said he loves it. He said it's really intense, though.
Oh, mixing's hard. That's why I'm just sending my stuff out
Yeah.
there.
Gordon, did you get my call earlier?
No,
I left you a message at like noon.
really.
Yeah, I just want to, I'd like to meet with you next week to talk about some upcoming holiday stuff.
Okay.
Okay, you're good?
I am so good.
Okay, you're always good.
Why should I not be good? Life is great.
Well, no, life sometimes is tough.
Depends how you look at it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, we have like the Passover Shabbat, stuff we talked about last night, like Yom HaShoah. So anyway, I propose next Wednesday or Thursday if you have any time
Yeah,
just to
I do.
get
Okay.
together. Just let me know what works for you. I can come to your place or you can come to mine.
Okay. Let's see where we're on. Yeah, hold on.
Not a big deal. We'll just.
So grab some on the front. Stream's live, we're good.
Oh, good. Okay.
Streams live. Does that mean that we're on right now?
Yeah, you know. Yeah.
Does that mean we're on video?
No, video, but it's still slide. There's audio and video.
Okay.
And the audio is very far.
I thought I would start with this today.
Amelia Bain.
Amelia Bain.
I mean, tonight there's nothing special. It's just a regular. Next week we're going to have a guest speaker. Do you know Deborah Alter Starr? Yeah. So I know.
I mean, yes.
So she's going to be
That's me.
talking about Ukraine and stuff. You can think
Yeah,
of
'cause
anything refugee related.
Yeah, I know her son's there.
Yeah,
Or was
he got out. He
Yeah.
got out of.
Aaron, yeah.
Oh man, this is a lot of announcements. I don't even know who's doing the announcements tonight. Boy, okay, I got to figure that out.
What are you talking about tonight?
I'm talking about ritual. I'm talking about ritual. Ritual.
Ritual.
It's the beginning of the book of Leviticus. So, just the importance of ritual in our lives and why are we so good at some types of rituals and so bad at others.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll do. Well, that's what the Shamri's good or something. You know, if I. What's the one? If I do Shabbat.
So you had a good week? How was your new gig? Did you have a new gig this week?
Yeah.
Hey, Andrew. Shabbat Shalom. Good to see you. Good Shabbos.
Nice to see you.
So it was okay? Or not so
School
great?
systems are just.
Are they?
You know, I'm teaching at elementary school, just doing ukulele class, after school enrichment program. They did no background check. They just said, your room's over there, the kids are bound for.
See, it's not just us. I mean, they probably have a multi-million-dollar budget and they're still not organized. So,
That's no excuse.
well, I mean, hopefully it'll keep whatever challenges we have in perspective.
No, it doesn't, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Good try.
I know, I tried.
But,
I tried. So what do you want to start with?
I thought I would start with Mealy Bain, if that's okay.
Okay, and then what do you want to do after the
If
candles?
you want to mention, it comes from two different sources, right? It's the part, choose life that you may live. I forget, you probably know where it's, oh, there it is. Yeah, it's from Deuteronomy and the Baal Shem Tov.
Yeah,
and
okay.
For remembrance is the secret of redemption. It might be, I mean,
Yeah.
it's upbeat, but it might, I don't know if we do.
Okay, and then what do you want to do right after the candle lighting?
Man, let me see. Candle lighting. I don't know. What you just want like what? Like what's?
I mean, we could do anything. We could do Shalom Alechem.
I know. Well, that's what we usually do. Are there? What are the other?
The Shamru, Lachadodi. You could do anything you want.
What if we did? Well, they won't know this too well. But what if we did Shabbat Hamacha?
Yeah, if you want to. Sure. Yeah. What page is that?
128.
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
Which one is it?
It's back.
Shabbat
If you want to do one that's.
I'm okay. Whatever you want.
Okay.
So whatever you want. Just give me a heads up. What you want to do.
Okay. I'll pick it out now. Hello, Amar family. They let me park in here tonight. They let me park in the lot. He allowed you? Yeah, because my car was pretty clean. Really? I washed it as soon as I got home.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Mazel, that's a good thing. You had a good week?
Yes.
You see, because you had a clean car.
Yeah, it made such a difference.
Shabbat Shalom.
Okay, we're good. You ready?
So I'm going to
What
do
do you want?
I'll do a Lachadodi. It's
Okay,
a Tao
that's fine.
one, which is
Well, it's 6 and we're on, so I'm going to let you.
okay. You don't have this in your books, so you can just listen along. Milibeinu anachnu sharim, milibeinu anachnu sharim, uvacharta b'chaim, uvacharta b'chaim chaim. Milibeinu anachnu sharim, milibeinu anachnu sharim. Uvacharta b'chaim, uvacharta b'chaim, chaim. Uvacharta b'chaim, uvacharta b'chaim. Leman tichye uschor, ki b'schira. Sod geula, sod geula, milibeinu, milibeinu anachnu sharim, milibeinu anachnu sharim. Uvacharta b'chaim, uvacharta b'chaim, chaim. That's the whole song. A lot of the words repetition. Uvacharta b'chaim, choose life. So we'll try that again. We'll go uvacharta b'chaim. Now you sing it. Uvacharta b'chaim. Then it goes like this. Leman tichye uschor, ki b'zchira, ki b'zchira. Sod geula, sod geula, sod geula, milibeinu, milibeinu from our hearts. Uvacharta b'chaim, choose life. Chorus. Milibeinu anachnu sharim, milibeinu anachnu sharim. Uvacharta b'chaim, uvacharta b'chaim, chaim. Uvacharta b'chaim, uvacharta b'chaim. Leman tichye uschor, ki b'schira. Sod geula, sod geula, milibeinu, milibeinu anachnu sharim, milibeinu anachnu sharim. Uvacharta b'chaim, uvacharta b'chaim, chaim. Uvacharta b'chaim.
Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos to all of you. You know, you sang this beautiful version of Uvacharta b'chaim from the book of Deuteronomy, and I was thinking about that whole idea of choosing life, which means you can choose the opposite. And even back in antiquity, our ancestors knew that life can sometimes be tough. But Judaism has always said, even in the face of adversity, choose life, choose resilience, choose to move forward, no matter what the obstacles you might face happen to be. And we're living in a time of war. So before we start our service, our thoughts and prayers are with the people of Ukraine as they continue to struggle during this terrible, terrible conflict that seems to be getting worse. And we pray that diplomacy prevails and that the war and the suffering that is happening right now diminishes. That is my prayer on this Shabbat. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. But what I'd like to do tonight is invite Fred and Catherine Goldman up to light our Shabbat candles. The blessing is on page 120, if you'd like to follow along. They're always the trick candles. We always have trick candles. We want to keep people guessing. We can invest a little more in, fancier candles, but this way you have to, always be awake and ready. You can use this too if you prefer.
Could be. There you go.
Here, you do that. See?
Okay.
Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvot tov, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We're going to continue with Lecha Dodi. I don't think we've sung Lecha Dodi for a little while. It's on page 138, and we're going to do stanzas 1, 2,
8 and 9. Yeah, we're
1,
going to
2,
do
8, and 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we certainly haven't done this version,
Okay.
but it's been around for quite a while, and I haven't done it either. So we'll all be in this together. Lecha Dodi 138. Kind of a it has a kind of a Broadway feel to it. You'll see. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat Kabbalat. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat Kabbalat. La 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 la. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat Kabbalat. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat Kabbalat. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmiyanu el hamichad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem u'tiferet v'liti la 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 lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat Kabbalat. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat Kabbalat. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor habracha, merosh mikerem nesucha, sof maseh b'machshava techila la 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 lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat Kabbalat. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat Kabbalat. Number 8. Yaminu smol tifrotzi, ve'et Adonai taritzi, al yad ish ben partzi, v'nismecha v'nigila la 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 lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat Kabbalat. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat Kabbalat. Please rise if you can. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, לה 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 לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לה 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 לה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
You know, Gordon mentioned it had sort of a Broadway feel, this melody, and I think I know what you mean.
Okay.
There were no jazz hands, but I get it.
Yeah, it makes you know that.
And I think with Broadway musicals, don't they? It's called the book, right? The author.
Yeah.
So in some ways, this song Lecha Dodi is sort of a book, a short book for the Kabbalat Shabbat service. And if you actually look at the first letter of each stanza, it spells out the name of the author. It's not Andrew Lloyd Webber, but if you look at 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., it spells out Shin, Lamed, Mem, Hey. That's Shlomo. Those are the first stanzas. 5, 6, 7, 8 is Hey, Lamed, Vav, Yud, Levi. So it tells us the name of the author. The author of this particular prayer was Shlomo HaLevi, Solomon the Levite. So even back then, I don't want to take anything away from him. You know, people wanted to be recognized and remembered for their creative contributions. So maybe this was sort of Broadway for the Galilee, 500 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, ask Mel Brooks, he would know.
Okay.
He was there, Charlie.
Right. Anyway, so we'll always know the name of the author of this particular prayer. Let's go ahead and flip to page 146. We don't have the author to this prayer. It's much older. This is the Baruch Hu, our call to worship. This is probably at least 1,500 years old, so 1,000 years older than what we just sang. And you're already standing, so please join us in the Baruch Hu.
Lai la 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 la. Lai la 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 la. Lai la 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 la. Lai la 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 la. Lai la 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 la. Lai la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Please remain standing and join me at the top of page 149 as we read in English. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. And please join me also at the top of page 151. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavacha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha b'derech uv'shokbecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam la'ot hayadecha v'hayu latotafot b'neinecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha lema'an tiskaru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim le'elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'elohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
Page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Page 158.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. Nora Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. Malchutecha ra'u vanecha, ukei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze Elianu ve'amaru, ze Elianu ve'amaru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh.
Please join me at the top of page 161. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim.
We're going to start with the top two lines on top of 161. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. V'hamidenu shomreinu b'chayim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. Hamidenu shomreinu l'chayim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 Amen.
Please take a moment now for your own silent thoughts and prayers.
page 179. Hey, oh, oh, hey, hey, oh, oh, hey, hey, oh, oh, hey, hey, oh, oh, hey. Lo yisago yel goy cherev, lo yilmedu od milchama. Lo yisago yel goy cherev, lo yilmedu od milchama. Lo yisago yel goy cherev, lo yilmedu od milchama. Lo yisago yel goy cherev, lo yilmedu od milchama. Hey, oh, oh, hey, hey, oh, oh, hey. Lo yisago el goy cherev, lo yilmedu od milchama. Lo yisago el goy cherev, lo yilmedu od milchama. Lo yisago el goy cherev, lo yilmedu od milchama. Lo yisago el goy cherev, lo yilmedu od milchama. Lo yisago el goy cherev, lo yilmedu od milchama. Lo yisago el goy cherev, lo yilmedu od milchama. Lo yisago el goy cherev, lo yilmedu od milchama. Lo yisago el goy cherev, lo yilmedu od milchama. Hey, oh, oh, hey, hey, oh, oh, hey.
For those who don't know, Lo yisago el goy cherev, may nation not lift up sword against nation, may nations no longer wage war against one another. What a beautiful prophetic, what a beautiful messianic vision. We're not there yet, but what a hope and a prayer during this week. We pause now in our service to think of those in need of healing on this Shabbat, healing of body, healing of spirit, and healing of heart. And we think of those from our community in need of healing, as well as those loved by those in our community. And we ask God to bestow the bracha, the blessing of refuah shlema, full and complete healing, on Lynn Feingold, Ilana Massey, Kevin Brackett, Ginny Sims, Eileen Conklin, Nancy Jeanette, Michelle Camisia, Joshua Hyman, Dylan Bonnick, Diane Butler, Elsa Loach, Elena Goldman, Mark Charney, Michael Edwards, Jesse Friedman, Scott Stern, Tom Sabo, Martha Gallus, Yolanda Gallus, Judy Nystrom, Carl Rice, and Beverly Eigner. And if you have the name of someone you wish to share, please do so. The Misha Berach is on page 511.
I'm going to do a little experiment tonight.
Okay.
Starting at the top, second line. Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Rachel v'Leah, Hu yivarech et hacholim. One more time. Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel v'Leah, Hu yivarech et hacholim. Misheberach Avotenu Mikor habracha Limotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu Nekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. Good Shabbos again to everyone. It's nice to see you on this Friday night. So we're at the midpoint of the Torah right now, the fulcrum, the third book of the 5 books of Moses, the book of Leviticus. And the Torah portion for the Shabbat is the very first couple of chapters of the book of Leviticus, and is called Vayikra, which means Leviticus. And as the name implies, there are a lot of laws and regulations in this Torah portion. In fact, almost half of the rituals and rules of the Torah are found in this book. That's a lot. It represents 20% of the Torah, but it also represents 50% of the rules and observances and practices. Anyone know how many rules the rabbis determined occur in the Torah? 613. That's a lot. 613. And half of them occur in this book. Now, I want to read just a brief passage from the Torah Commentary that we use here, and we'll be studying from this tomorrow morning for those who are able to come to Torah study. And it talks about ritual, the importance of ritual. And it says that something in the human soul responds to ritual. There is something comforting about the familiar, the recognizable, the predictable. There is something deeply moving about performing a rite that is older than we are, one that goes back beyond the time of our parents and grandparents. There is power in the knowledge that we are doing what generations of people before us have done in similar situations, something that other people in other places are doing at the same time and in the same way. Now, I know for me, when I refrain from eating pork or shellfish, for example, it connects me with my parents. It connects me with my grandparents. It connects me with my ancestors. When those of us who are here tonight observe Shabbat, as all of you are doing, regardless of whether you believe in God, regardless of your commitment to Jewish practice, what we're doing now is being done at probably thousands of synagogues around the world at this very moment, or at least depending on what hour you're at. Maybe in Mongolia, it's not at this exact hour. But you get the idea. There's something very powerful about ritual. Ritual is a very big part of all of our lives. We drink coffee in the morning. We read the newspaper. We stand for the national anthem at sporting events. But those are secular rituals. When it comes to Jewish rituals, many of us struggle. How many of us attend regular Shabbat services? How many of us observe kashrut, the Jewish dietary laws? How many of us observe all three of the major pilgrimage festivals? Are they that much harder? Why is there such a disconnect between the secular and the sacred? There is one notable exception, and that is the Passover Seder, which many of us are going to be observing in our homes in a few weeks. There was a study a few years ago by Jewish Federations of North America, and something like 80% of Jews in North America observe some form of a Passover Seder. And that's compared to about 10 or 15% who observe Shabbat in some kind of a regular way. So Passover still somehow is widely observed by the vast majority of Jews, at least in this hemisphere, but pretty much around the world. So what makes Passover so engaging when so many of the other rituals seem to not resonate with so many of us? Why is it so widely observed? Part of it is that we sit together with family and friends. Some of it is because we eat great food and we drink great wine. And some of it is because it represents a sacred drama, ritual theater. It's almost like going to dinner theater for those of us who've ever done dinner theater. There are characters. And who are the characters? All of us who are reading the Haggadah. There are props. What are some of the props? The 4 cups of wine, the afikomen, Elijah's cup, the Paschal lamb, and many others. And there's a script. The script is not by Andrew, why am I looking at you? Not by Andrew Lloyd Webber, but the Haggadah. The Haggadah itself represents a script. So there's something very powerful about Passover that I think we can really learn from as we try to make our other rituals more engaging. So how do we make the other Jewish rituals engaging? Is it even possible? I think we need to study and learn from Passover and try to figure out how we can make Shabbat and Hanukkah and Purim and Shavuot and Sukkot just as meaningful. How do we overcome our resistance to rituals that are religious in nature rather than secular? Why is it so easy to follow secular rituals, but not that easy for most of us in the non-Orthodox world to follow religious rituals, Jewish rituals, when they're not that hard? To say the motzi takes 3 seconds. To say the Shema before you go to bed at night takes 4 seconds. Why are they so hard? That is the challenge, not only for rabbis and Jewish leaders, but for all of us here tonight. Now, there is one ritual that is another exception, and that is one that many of us find compelling right now. And that is the commandment to care for the needy, to comfort the widow and the orphan, those who are struggling. And whenever there is a war, and there's a war right now, and there are more widows and orphans being created every single day, that is a time when many of us can follow one of the 613 mitzvot. And I hope that we will give some of the other 612 the same kind of credence and same kind of relevance in our lives that this one does. But it's important. And while it's on the mind of so many, we just sent out an email today at 3 o'clock. There are lots of ways we can try to support those in need in Ukraine. There are places we can donate to, and we listed 3 of them this afternoon on your email. There's a program on Sunday led by one of our members, Deborah Alter-Starr, whose son lived and taught in Kyiv, and he was able to escape with his Ukrainian girlfriend to Poland. I think he's in Poland right now. So that's a program you could go to on Sunday, and the details are in this afternoon's email. Or you can come here next Friday during Shabbat when she's going to actually be speaking about the experience of her son and what's going on in Ukraine. So hopefully you can make one or all of those things. But the rituals of Judaism are powerful. The rituals of Judaism are profound. Some of them may speak to us at different times compared to others. And I hope whether they're ethical commandments, such as taking care of those who are suffering, or ritual commandments, like observing Shabbat, or following the dietary laws, or any number of other practices. I hope we in the non-Orthodox community will take them seriously, we'll study them, we'll think about them, and we can struggle together. We can think together about how we can make our holidays and our practices more meaningful in our lives, because I think when we don't, we miss out on a huge aspect of the Jewish tradition that can provide meaning and purpose and a sense of joy in our lives that I just don't think Jewish culture alone can provide. So that's my wish for you on this Shabbat. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will. We're going to continue now with the Aleinu on page 586. If you are able, please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורל עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים. לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. You know, I mentioned, Gordon, I don't know why I look over to you when I'm talking about show business and Broadway.
I look a lot like Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Yeah. But I realized, 2-3 years ago during the High Holy Days, you were handling the sound. We have Jeremy doing that now. You were playing multiple instruments. You were singing. You were coordinating the choir. And I refer to you as the hardest working man in shul business. So whenever I'm thinking of Hollywood or Broadway, I think of you. And you used to work there, right? Back in the day.
Yeah, there you go.
So that was a non sequitur. But we're going to shift to announcements tonight. And I'm not sure who from the board is that Roberta? Okay. So I am going to invite up Roberta Solomon, board member extraordinaire, to share with you some important announcements for this week.
She's the hardest working board member.
The hardest working board member, right. In board business.
Yeah.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome. Okay. Ooh, what was that? Tomorrow at 10:30 a.m., join Rabbi for Torah study in person or on Zoom, and also on Saturday morning, 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. at Justin Siena High School. There will be a presentation with speakers for ACT Support Ukraine, including CBS member Aaron Starr. Important information. If you're interested in attending the monthly CBS meeting on March 15th at 7 p.m., you are most welcome. Please contact Mark Samrick for more information. Last but certainly not least, Sunday, March 20th, we will be celebrating Purim. Why is that last but not least when there's more announcements? That does not make sense. All right, anyway, Shabbat next week, we welcome a special guest speaker and CBS member, Debbie Alter-Starr, who will speak about Ukraine and her son Aaron's recent experience there. Aaron lived and worked in Kyiv and was able to escape to Poland with his Ukrainian girlfriend. Join us from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. This should have been with Purim, by the way. This is about Purim on Sunday, March 20th. Join us from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. in costumes and be ready for activities, spiel, and a picnic lunch. The event is free, and you can pre-purchase your picnic lunch of sandwich, chips, and cookies for $10 each online while RSVPing. Next, are you interested in being in the adult Torah trope class? Leah Savage will be leading a 10-week spring class beginning March 28th. The class costs $36 per participant to cover supplies. Please email Leah for details and more information. On Monday, the 21st, it will be of March, Soul Sisters meet on Zoom at 4 p.m. with host Joanne Miller. The book that they're reading is My Journey by Donna Karen, a memoir. My Journey traces Karen's early days as an intern at Anne Klein through creation of her 7 easy pieces, which forever changed the way working women dressed, and I remember this very well, that was DKNY, and the meteoric rise of her company. Thursday, March 24th at 6 p.m., the Napa PD will be providing the follow-up training for us in person at CBS. Highly recommend for everyone to be there. This will also be followed by a training with a private organization, Community Security Services, who will have an online training for CBS members on Zoom April 22nd. The CSS, or Community Security Services training program, requires registration. This is last but not least, 3 months until Camp Chabarim begins. Yay! Registration is open now, and we have limited space. You can register online, and if you have any questions, please contact Leah Savage. And most importantly, now we get to the birthdays and the anniversaries. We'd like to give warm wishes to this month's birthdays and anniversaries. Happy birthday to Eyal Kaduri, Jason Kreese, Stephanie Honig, and Aaron Starr. And happy anniversary to Mark and Sylvia Samrick, it's their 54th, and Nancy and Peter Jeanette, it's their 49th. Thanks again, everyone. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you, Roberta. Lots of announcements. Sorry that we didn't cut and paste properly, but you handled it masterfully. Thank you. As we near the end of our service, we think of those who are no longer with us, those who have died both recently and in seasons past. We honor those who have died during this past 12 months. Dr. I. Harold Shevlin, Isadora Smith, Elliot Kapchan, Sanford Rubin, Stuart Paley, Bonnie Kapeloff Mamie, Dr. Ian Miller, Jimmy Rabb, Sandra Sumick, Michael Gordon, Larry Elson, Bill Chiat, Arnold Trombler, Erica Cornelison, Gladys Shubin, Richard Magano, Clark Smith, Stephanie Rabb Axner, David Ernesto Kaplan, Pat Pate, Annette Goldberg, Maggie Sherman, Sandra Benko Fichtenberg, Nicholas Huff, and George Montano. We also remember and honor the yahrzeits, the anniversaries of the deaths of James Brady, Mardell Reese Rome, Jeannie Goodwin, George Gordon, Rosalind Kaufman Johnson, Jackie Suri Yuntel Hecht, Peter Gordon, William Rosenblatt, Martha Turner, Cindy Bratman Matz, Herbert Shapiro, and Louis Lambert. And if anyone has a name they wish to share, please share that with us now or type it at home.
Tom Nelson and John Logan.
The Mourner's Kaddish is on page 598. Please rise. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah B'alma divra cherotei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael b'agala uv'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mivarach le'alam u'almei almaya Yitbarach, Vishtabach, Vitpa'ar, Vitramam, Vitnaseh, Vitadar, Vitalel, Vitalal, Shmei Dekudsha Barichu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran ve'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shmaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all those who are in mourning and comfort to all those who are bereaved. And let us all say amen. Please be seated. We have a final song before we do the Kiddush and Motzi. And Gordon, what are you going to do for us tonight?
We're going to do Od Yavo, Shalom Aleinu, on page 657. Easier to start at the end, then you can get the tempo for the beginning, just for you music aficionados out there. So if we start with Salam Aleinu v'yakol ha'olam, Salam, Salam, Salam Aleinu v'yakol ha'olam, Salam, Salam O Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Shalom Aleinu, Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Salam Aleinu v'yakol ha'olam, Salam, Salam, Shalom Aleinu, Yavo 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 Shalom Aleinu, Aleinu v'yakol ha'olam, Salam, Salam,
Please rise and join with me and Gordon as we say the Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Borei peri hagafen, L'chaim.
L'chaim. Okay, our numbers are looking better. Many of us are not wearing masks indoors. We're not quite at the point where we can do the motzi the way we used to do it before COVID, where we touch each other and then by extension touch a challah, but I'm confident we're going to get there in the weeks or months ahead. But for right now, Gordon and I will hold it up, and please join us.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Hamotzi lechem min haaretz, Amen. B'tei Avon.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. single word.